Now, I promised David he could have 2 minutes, and I appreciate that may be contentious, but there you go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for giving me this opportunity, and thank you all for not booing him when he told you I was going to speak. I really have been so excited to be a part of this PNCIMA process, and as I'll say in a minute, I think that this really is the kind of initiative that's going to be needed to be carried out around the world. I really think there's a lot of potential in this. The first speaker this morning showed, I think, very clearly why we can't expect Ottawa to drive this process on the West Coast. First of all, I can't imagine a city in Canada as far away from all three of our coastlines than Ottawa. They seem to be averse to water. But you heard the overlapping many jurisdictions, seeing the way that we divide the coast up into all of these different jurisdictions, all with a view to different ways that humans can use this area. The most important stakeholders aren't present in it, and that's the fish. Can you imagine any other group of organisms that have more at stake to what happens in these deliberations than the fish, or the forests, or the rivers, or the water? We have focused everything on human needs. PNCIMA is the way to go. I believe the local people here who live here, this is our home. And we have, I believe in this room, we have all of the experience and wisdom we need if we come in with goodwill to work on this process. But I really think we have to start, I said it yesterday, from a different perspective. A perspective that, first of all, we are one species out of perhaps 30 million species on the planet. And we have taken over the planet, one species. And we have to understand, it seems to me, that our health, our well-being, our physical well-being, our social well-being, our economic well-being depends on the state or the well-being of the biosphere. Along the coast here, we're particularly concerned about the oceans and the coastal areas. If we start with that assumption, it seems to me that it changes the whole way that we approach the challenge. The health of the biosphere, it seems to me, has got to be our highest priority, and everything must refer to that. As we ask, how can we make a living? What is the impingement of that activity on the biosphere? And we see our government scientists are focused the wrong way. If you heard the first reports that John Volpe brought out, that Atlantic salmon escaping from net pens were spawning in the rivers. What was the government's response immediately? Well, that can't happen. We already tried that years ago. They can't spawn here. And when he reported a 2-year-old baby Atlantic salmon on the coast, what was the response? Oh, I bet those damn dingos probably released them. When Alex Morton first reported that sea lice were killing baby salmon, the immediate response was, who the hell is she? She's not a scientist. I would have thought that the proper response is, holy cow, what if this is true? We better find out. But instead, it's all focused, it seems to me, the wrong way.
You've got about 15 seconds, David.
Oh, okay. I think that's the main point. That let me just end on stakeholders then, and that is, it seems to me that when people have lived on the coast for thousands of years, they're not stakeholders. It's a very different relationship. Their very culture, their very identity is tied to this coast. They're not stakeholders in the way that we generally think of them. But that shouldn't frighten us, it seems to me. Thank God they're there, because they've got 10,000 years of knowledge that should be included in, indeed drive, the way that we work on the whole PNCIMA process. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so let's take a break, and it's a pleasure to pretend that I'm a parent of 300 people. At 10:02, go to your rooms.